So, how many people have ever worried then about what they're going to write down when they've got an alternate tuning? Do you just try to keep your tunes in your head, or do you at least try to capture it some way on some kind of recording? That's the thing. The older I get, the hundreds of songs I've written, most of my students say, well, I've got 11 songs, or I've got 27 songs, and I keep them all in my head. But, that's okay when you're 18. When you're 47 and you've got a lot of songs, how are you going to remember all these songs? I like to videotape them, it's like a just written version. I like to get them on some type of recording, and I scribble down as best I can any kind of voicing or shape that I'm playing, and I certainly write down the tuning or what capo I decided to put the, what position I put the capo in, just to remember all those things. So I don't have to think about it every time, or I don't have to go figure out the tune again and again every time I go to perform that song. That's a waste of time. If you've written it, there should be something some kind of map that you can come up with in which you can remember how to play that song. And between pictures of the voicings you've actually chosen and the recording or a video of yourself playing the recording, that should be really good. And then afterwards, you can analyze it. You can say, well, what key am I really in? And what should this chord actually be called? And then you can tell your keyboard player or your bass player what the harmony really is, or write up a basic lead sheet. But, technically, if you write up that lead sheet for yourself, that's not going to make any sense. Because even if it says it's a B-flat major 7, you remember you were playing some strange-looking whatever in that other tuning. It's not going to remember. You're not going to remember that shape. You know what I mean? Have you seen that happen? So, line 6 is trying to do this thing now with their acoustic variacs, that it will remember whatever alternate tuning you select. It'll even do a virtual capo. But it's not tracking very well. When I'm playing it, it sounds bizarre because you hear your open standard tuning strings, and then you hear amplified whatever the crazy tuning is. And if you say, okay, I have a virtual capo on the 7th fret, your Here Comes the Sun sounds normal down here. It sounds like you're playing it up here. Without the capo. You're just playing it down here, and it sounds as if you're in the key of A. It's absolutely bizarre. Your brain kind of goes, what? And the muscle memory is bizarre because you're used to being down here on the neck. So I'm not sure I like the virtual capo thing too much. But that they're onto something. I think they're going to come up with something really cool for all of us, so that we don't have to be like Joni Mitchell and take 27 guitars on the road every time you want to do a show, But you know what I do? When I find a tuning that I really like, and I've written a song there, I end up writing 5 or 6 more tunes there on purpose, and I make them drone in different keys, and I have them different tempos and different varieties of grooves and feels, so that when I'm doing a set, it doesn't sound like I'm playing the same thing for 20 minutes or for an hour. It sounds like I've bounced around, and if I put that song and that tuning in the set, I can actually get to a variety of things and not have to retune so soon. What kind of things were you hoping we'd cover? Because I've got a million things. I could just keep talking, but I want to hear from you if there's anything you need. Maybe there's something you'd like to pick my brain about. And if you think of it, let me know. Sometimes you think that you have to change all 6 strings to be in another tuning. Sometimes you can just change one, and it sounds like you've entered a whole new world. One time, all I did was tune the E string down to C, because I had heard that was a fun thing to do. And every time I hear of a new tuning, the first thing I want to do is go explore it. Jesse knows this because he's always turning me on to new tunings, and then we both go off and try to write something in that tuning. And the first thing I did when I hit that tuning was grab this voicing for some reason. I don't know why. sure that's okay. She was a really cool writer that was writing for, I think, the Herald for a long time. She was talking about how she had a really serious bout of alcoholism, and that she was always sad, and always on the verge of being sad, and that when she dreamt, she felt like she never dreamed, she never slept deep enough, and that kind of stuck with me, you know. And I thought, wow, it's like always on the edge of sadness. I thought that's a nice line. So I wrote down edge of sadness, and I wrote down sleepless dreams or dreamless sleeps and things like that, little combination of words, just things sometimes that you feel come to mind that you're attracted to for whatever reason. You don't know almost till later. And I'd had a cold, so I put out some of those words, and I was singing. I felt like I sounded like Peter Gabriel. I was going, on the edge of sadness, awakened from a dreamless sleep, you know. And it was like, that's okay, that's not too bad. And when my voice comes back, this might sound good. So it turned out to actually sound like, on the edge of sadness, awakened from a dreamless sleep, I'm reaching out for your sky. That was another line. There was a crazy tune on the radio, and this woman was just dancing around and really funky. She's going, I'm reaching out for your sky, I'm reaching out for your sky, I'm reaching out for your sky. And this chorus just kept going on and on. You want to go, shut up, you know, like it was a great line, but she was like really like rushing it, I thought. And I thought, I'm reaching out for your sky. That sounds so good if you say it like you mean it, you know? So I put it in my tune and just took the whole line. I'm reaching out for your sky. And, you know, that's just how it happens. There's little ideas here and there, so much fun. So then, where did I go for the chorus? Actually, the chorus reminded me of a Lennox and Taylor thing. He was just looking in a few minutes ago. It's a good thing he left. I'll play this now. Day I'll ask for more. Carve the plans, shape the songs, place the calls, create the dreams I'm living for. Moonless night, when I should be sleeping, distortions whirling, trapped on shore. Your arms saved me when swallowed before. So, you know, the whole thing is don't distrust the idea, even if you've got a cold, or even if you think the line is lame, or even if you think, I don't know what to do with this line. You know, the whole thing about it, I think, is get into a place where you call yourself the artist. You are a songwriter. You know, you've come here with this incredible desire to write and to express yourselves, and you wouldn't have that desire. You wouldn't have that beginning of playing and writing if you didn't have everything also inside to make it happen and to be that. So every day you have to step into it and step into yourself more and more, and not let whatever I say or any other teacher say take that out of you. That's real important. And then you need to start trusting your instincts. So if you're going for an idea and the critic's badgering you, you know, the critic always shows up, right? You have to learn how to turn that critic off